I'm seeing, and it seems to play out more and more, especially with going into December, with rounding up at the end of the year, and um, yeah, with holidays and planning, all those kind of things coming up. And I see a lot of high achieving clients that I work with essentially fall into a loop of this pushing and this forcing energy. When things are not working, they're not getting the results that maybe they wanted for the year, or whether they felt that they have been, done enough on their to-do list. They're often trying to fix the problem. They look at it like it's a problem. I gotta be better, um, do it faster. All that energy that's there, that's present. Needing to have all the ducks in a row, and when things don't go as planned, then it throws your energy off for the whole day, right? There's this place of needing to have things a certain way, and this. When we create our life based on this energy of needing to have things a certain way, and to have things um, according to how it's always been. It's like, the mind will make up that this is how it should be. Otherwise, it's not good enough, or that's not the way it should be. Whenever we catch ourselves saying this, we're recreating the past, and there's a place here where the act of overachieving and overdoing, overgiving, all these things stem from a place of woundedness within ourselves, a place within ourselves that we're needing to push and do more, often comes from a place where there's been some repressed pain, emotions. So let me ask you, what if the overachieving, overgiving, overdoing that you're doing is actually the wound, you know? And if we allow ourselves to play these patterns over and over again, this is where we reinforce what has not been working. We're getting the same results we always have been. We're in a place of feeling stuckness. And so we cannot break free from a prison that we are not aware of. And this is where it gets tricky, right? Because the thing that's always been working feels like it's the place of safety, right? It doesn't necessarily feel like prison. Well, it's always worked in the past. So why would I change it if it's always worked? Until it doesn't, right? And then there's a place within ourselves that we look at it, and it's like it breaks apart this, mold or this mask we got to wear, that, we're all put together. And that if I don't do this and don't do what has always worked, like, who am I? Right? There is this break of our identity of who we are. And I'm here to tell you that that is a place of awareness and power that I'm inviting you to look at. This is a place where you are actually on the waves of awareness, so to speak, that you have the possibility of breaking through that prison. And this is what happened with one of my clients who was in a leadership position, right? Everything she was doing was building up a lot of stress, and it seems all normal. This is the tricky part. It looks like everything we've always done, and so it feels like safety. This is how it should be and has always been. But things were not working. Things were breaking down. And when she tried to attack everything with everything that she used to do, it just wasn't working. And oftentimes, when it's matters of the heart, we can't solve it through the mind. And a lot of this pushing energy that many of us are stuck in stems from a place of the mind. I mean, the action may have been stimulated from a place of, heart at one point, but when we lose that connection and intimacy with self, and the mind starts to run the show, and things were breaking down with her relationship with her husband, and her son was struggling with anxiety and not willing to go to school, and there were things breaking down at work. And let me tell you one thing, and this is what I call the law of spiritual efficiency, is that when we start to address things at the root, and we start to shift that relationship with ourselves, all the relationships around you change as well. You know, that they're all mirrors looking back at us. If we're willing to see it, if we're willing to look at the mask that we've been wearing, to remove it, and to really see what's happening underneath. And this is a journey I walk people through. I walk people through a face analysis to help people like speed up this process of really seeing ourselves versus riding the waves every day and not really looking at the truth. Because when we break through that prison that we're not necessarily seeing ourselves in, and we choose to take action, this is where the shift happens. This is where the change happens. This is where the impact you want to make, the abundance, the more ease and flow with life is birthed from. So it starts with you. And because my client was willing and open and willing to dive into that relationship, that connection, intimacy with ourselves, she was able to shift the relationship and communication with her husband. She's been able to, her son's going to school now, and there's no longer this conflict and tug of war. And she's been able to teach our son about anxiety, because she's learning that within herself. She's been able to teach these skills that often we don't get to learn as adult until, we're like experiencing it at a higher age, so to speak. And so this is the beauty of doing this inner work, is that when you connect to yourself in this way, to your inner child, you can also support your children. There's an entirely different shifting of your energy. And of course, this has shifted her into a position which is not necessarily of a higher leadership position, but it's one that provides freedom so she could choose what she wants to do. And that's what's going to serve her right now. It's actually doing things aligned to what is serving yourself versus what you've always done, in creating decisions based on this prison that we've always lived from. And so I invite you to take the step. I invite you to have a conversation with me. Let's dive into what a face analysis inner awakening experience will look like for you, because we can't change something we're not aware of. And we can't change what we don't choose to make important. And this is where self-love comes in. This is where choosing to make yourself important matters. It's not how much you know, it's how much you care. And this also comes back to, what is the intention and attention you're spending on yourself? Where may you be in a prison that you're not aware of? So I invite you to direct message me, to look at these places, to start the conversation, to look at these places that are holding you back from the difference you want to make, from the money you want to make, to the shifts in the relationships you want to make. Because I tell you now, all of it is all one. It's time to look at ourselves in wholeness, through the lens of wholeness and not separation. And so if this message is resonating for you, I invite you to reach out, direct message me, because this is your life. We are rounding to the end of 2023. I invite you to a new beginning in 2024. Sending you so much love. Take care. And I hope to hear from you.